One thing to note is that if you're not familiar and haven't been watching any of the Hat in Time runs, we do follow the in-game timer and not the real time. Reason for that is that it depends on your hardware settings in your computer, so load times can vary from person to person. So we use the in-game timer. Yeah. Getting a little bit of pixelation on Hihya's screen. We will be waiting for the first time to determine who is currently in the lead, and we'll be using the tracker to help you all know who is in. Now we got right here on Hihya's screen. He's gonna grab some yarn. We use yarn to make hats in the game, and each hat has a certain ability. The first hat we're gonna be making is the sprint hat, which takes about 2 yarn. So we're gonna craft this, fight this Mafia guy for a timepiece, which we need to get in just about every level.
We craft the sprint hat at the same time we kill the Mafia, so it plays both animations at the same time.
2646 on Hihya, and a 2694. That would put Hihya in the lead just by a little bit right now.
Not even by a second yet.
Right. So, before you saw the runners were dancing around the fountain to collect 5 green balls. These are what we call pawns. They're currency, and we grabbed the 5 to unlock this one level right here. She came from outer space, which costs about 5 pawns. We're doing this one, although it says Act 3 first. We're doing it first because we need to get another hat called the Brewer hat.
It just speeds up everything, especially the next battle with Barrel Battle. A lot faster with the Brewer hat.
Here we're collecting some yarn. Before you'll see on PhreakTheMighty screen, he's about to do a ticket dupe. If you take damage, you get these few frames of iframes of immunity, and you can pick up a ticket and dupe it. It also works with rift tokens. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with timepieces. I wish you could dupe a timepiece, but fortunately we cannot. So right here, Hihya is about to make the Brewer hat. Does about 2 damage for enemies, not bosses. Enemies. We'll be using that in the next level.
Oh, Freak missed the balloon.
Oh, that part is kind of hard because if you don't like get the SDJ corner, you can just miss it. Right here on Hihya's screen, he's picking up these pawns. This Mafia guy can rock anywhere between 3 to 5 pawns, pure RNG. But pawns are pretty important in the run because, like I said before, we have to unlock certain levels that we do in this run. He's just about to get the timepiece for a time of... It looks about 2:28. Let's see where... So he's currently in the lead still.
Freaking Hihya took 2 different routes when getting to the top there.
It doesn't really matter how you get up there. It's just like more of a matter of preference. And you still have to wait for the Mafia guy to get over there. I personally think what Hihya does is a little too risky.
Yeah, you gotta do what's known as an SDJ, or a sprint double jump. Essentially, while sprinting with the sprint hat, it automatically puts you into the second jump. So if you let go of sprint at the last second, you can jump twice still.
And it gives you a little more momentum and speed in comparison to just the regular regular sprint jump. So right here this is the auto scroller portion of this level. So if we first grab these pawns, because pawns are so very important, if we stand right where Hihya is, this Mafia guy just throws the barrels and they just fall off the screen. So we get to just pretty much stand here until this auto throw phase finishes up.
In very rare occasions, the barrels can still hit you, but that's like a glitch that's still being discovered.
Yeah, they can offset. I think one way is if you play full screen and you tab out, that can offset your barrels. Sometimes I'm accidentally in full screen mode without knowing it, and I'll like tab out, and then hear Head Kid getting hit. So right here, Hihya is going to charge up his Brewer, and he's going to hit the Mafia guy. When you hit him, it forces him to drop down faster than just waiting. Some smacks, and then we're going to jump up to the barrels and pick up the...
Freak got hit a couple of times there.
411.
See if girl can handle this barrel.
Okay. So right
Looks
here,
like-
he just screamed. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. It looks like he's fine now.
So what
Freak is.
Hihya did was there's a cutscene that we can't skip. We can skip most cutscenes because there is a option in the menu system to skip skippable cutscenes. However, there are some that we can't skip. So that's one of the ones where you can just press start and go back to the hub, which is the main level select area spaceship that we're in. If you hear us say hub, this is what we're referring to. Freak is getting this 440. Yep, 440.
Coming
So-
up, Hihya's going for a essentially going to try and hit 2 Mafia guys at the same time. He gets it. Nice. It's pretty hard to get.
Yeah, you have to stand like in this very precise spot in between the two of them to hit him. It is pretty darn difficult.
Yeah, not many runners can pull it off consistently. Here, Hihya's skipping through most of the level by just climbing on that chair, and he's going to throw the barrel now, that's a glitchy button, by the way.
Yeah, so like with that button, you have to walk on top of it with the bucket on top of it in order for the button to stay down. If you just walk around it, most of the time it won't stay down. Kind of key. So right here, this is the throne room. What he's just gonna do is he's gonna get on top of this door frame, and we're just gonna do some platforming and skip this little mini fight scene right here. Oh, okay, that's a good save. It only saves just about like a little bit of time.
I think about 5 seconds.
Right here, this is one of the few boss fights that we get to see in the any percent current route. There's a really, really nice glitch that the runners are going to do at the end of this level that saves quite a lot of time. There is RNG in this level. There are these sandbags that drop down. You can get between 2 to 4 when you're doing this run optimally, and that is just pure RNG. And if he also does a scream during the battle, I think that also loses you 3 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like 4 sandbags and 2 screams is the worst RNG you can get.
I think he just got a 2 cycle right here, so I think he got 2 sandbags. What he's gonna do is he's gonna get his brewer hat and start charging and run to the right side of the screen. And what he's doing is he's taking the Mafia guy's place, forcing the Mafia guy to fall out of bounds, die, and then we get the time. How much time this saves isn't too certain just due to the RNG and madness of this level, but it does save a wild portion of time.
Bouncing on his head when he does the supercharged move is faster, but it's also less consistent.
I've got your friend captured, and soon you will
So sometimes right here, after Down with the Mafia, there could be a little bit of deviation between routing. Players can either do the Golden Vault first, or do a Time Rift, which are platforming levels that are cycle-based and are familiar with the hidden levels of Sunshine. Familiar with that. So it looks like he's just gonna go for the Time Rift first. These little orbs that are hidden around the map. 2 per level.
The first level has a kind of a bit of a cycle here. The cycle being the spinning platform off in the distance there.
It looks like he went for the fast strat, so he is going to get the first cycle, which is fastest. It's a little tricky to get the hang of. He gets it in one nice swoop.
So now that he's headed into the Golden Vault, he could be doing a double dupe glitch where you duplicate 2 tickets.
Ooh, risky. Going for the... So you get a roulette at the end, and after you do the roulette, you can go back to hub, which is pretty... It's pretty risky, because if you're a few frames off, you get this unfortunate glitch where your screen goes completely black, and the only way you can bring up the picture is if you go through another rift and see another roulette. Here, so he's just going for the SDJ, as mentioned before. He gets damage, grabs the ticket, and he gets
Ooh.
the double dupe. Is quite tricky to do.
That is the second hardest trick, I believe, to pull off.
I'm pretty inconsistent with it myself. It's pretty hard. So he gets these 4 tickets, goes to this vault, opens it, and we get another timepiece. I believe missing the dupe can lose you, I think, somewhere around 15 seconds. I lose somewhere between 15 to 20 whenever I miss the double dupe. So getting that dupe is pretty imperative.
If you miss it the first time, you can quit back to hub and try it again.
That's true.
And you'll save like 2 to 3 seconds, I believe, if you get it the second time.
Yeah, if you mess it up again, then rip.
Freak also going for it.
Looks like he's going to get it. Should get it, yep.
Oh, yeah. Pretty scary.
So, let's see which strat Hihya is going to be doing here. Heating up. I think he is doing the old strat for heating up. So, in here, he's going to get himself down to 1 damage, and then he's going to hit these valves. He's going to go over to this last valve right here with 1 health, and he's going to smack it, making sure he's not smacking it too fast, and then he's going to die. And that's going to warp him back to the start of this level. And he also gets a checkpoint. Checkpoints are very important. And then he's gonna leave that faucet that we saw by the starting area for last, and you will spy in just a little bit. You have about 3 damage left, and he's gonna take 2 damage on the way to this valve right here. Just like we saw before, it's gonna hit it 2 times, and then do another death warp.
If you hit that valve too fast, it doesn't give you the checkpoint, and if you hit it too slow, nothing really bad happens if you hit it too slow.
I think Freak here is doing the newer strats. No, to be honest, I'm not too familiar with the newer strats. I haven't learned them yet myself. Fortunately, I can't get commentary on how it works. This strat was literally just discovered not even a week ago.
From what I could tell, it's essentially just a warp back up. Yeah, he's going for it. So
Yeah, sorry, you can finish.
the last pipe you get on this, you can't really die on because it doesn't give you a checkpoint for. So usually we leave the pipe near the point for last, but with the new strategy, we go with what was the first pipe, get ourselves stuck in a spot using the brewer hat, so it's like the game doesn't think we're on solid ground, and then we get stuck and it warps us back up to the beginning. You'll see that happen very shortly.
Just want to note that Hihya is going into the second time rift. The level Bazaar. Alright, so PhreakTheMighty is about to do setup for warp.
Ooh,
Oh, that is unfortunate.
oh, I think he might have still got it.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Hihya. He almost made the fastest cycle for Bazaar.
Freak got the warp. I think that's Hihya's first record.
So, if you get a record during your roulette, only the first time you get a record, it causes this intruder alert cutscene, which loses you 3 seconds. There is a chance that you could never get the record at all, but there's pretty low chance considering all the roulette screens that we have pop up. I guess I should mention the roulettes give cosmetic and sometimes different remixes, which are just remix of the OST.
I believe with the new route we're helping a little bit with the roulette, but probably not enough by skipping the village rift.
So Hihya here is going to do a pretty hard trick in the game, where he does an STJ off a tiny little tree branch to skip over this bag. If he didn't do that, he would be stuck in this about 30-second cutscene of just sitting in a bag and talking to Snatcher, a friendly ghost. But he successfully pulled off the bag skip.
Next, he's going for a cherry death, it looks like. I'll explain that as it happens. Looks like Freak. I couldn't tell, but it looks like Freak got the fastest cycle.
I didn't catch that.
I only saw like a brief glimpse. I think it was to the right side. Essentially, the cherry death is when you get the cherry bomb and you get the timepiece at the same time, so you essentially die, restarting the level for you instead of having to re-enter through the telescope.
Re-entering through the telescope would also cause a few little animations on your level select map. So Freak here is about to set up for the bag skip.
Next, Hihya's.
Ooh, he gets a sprint jump. That's unfortunate. So he's gonna go for a second attempt.
Hihya might be going for a cutscene stack
Ooh.
here.
Risky plays by Hihya. Making me a little nervous. Oh, okay, he doesn't go for it.
Yeah.
Scratcher. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being safe on that. Ooh. Oh no, Freak! Oh, he accidentally dived into the tree, falling off. Hihya here is about to do. It's a pretty interesting. Oh no, it's a pretty interesting glitch. So if you position yourself between this well and the tree, and you do a dive, you could dive up the geometry, giving you a boost, and you can get on top of this well and going into it. Unfortunately, it looks like Freak is gonna take the bag.
Man, in my opinion, bag skip's the hardest trick to pull off.
It's
But that's only...
definitely one of the hardest ones to do. Because you have such a small little piece on that tree. The texture of the tree does extend outward, so you do have like a little bit of wiggle room to get that SDJ, but it is difficult to execute consistently.
Here he's just going for one of the toughest sort of spots. Tough in the sense that it's just like anywhere you can bonk on and mess up on it. If you miss the hook shot, lots of things could go wrong here, but it looks like he pulled it off first try.
We're gonna stay a little different since Freak didn't go for the back skip. Hihya here, when he exits this well, isn't gonna have a contract that you're seeing right now on Freak's screen. He's not gonna see a contract go up, so he's just going to wait for this cutscene and then start moving towards the timepiece. Or alternatively, you would have the contract pop up, and even with the menu still up, Freak will be able to use his keyboard and mouse to go over to the timepiece, and then go and leave to the hub from the cutscene menu. Contract menu. Words are difficult.
Come with me.
Well, it looks like Freak is also going to be doing the Cherry Death strat.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy trick to pull off. It's just, it can go bad sometimes.
I'd say the difficult part is getting the cherry on the right spot on the tree, and then getting both the cherry and hat kit up on that platform before Snatcher pops up. But it looks like he just barely got it. Soju here, he had to make sure to select subcon well level instead of contractual obligation. Sorry, I bit my tongue. Because if he opened up contractual obligations, just gonna call CO, stumbling on my words. The bag would still be up since he didn't go for it, and by doing subcon well, he can bypass the well. Not the well, the bag.
And then for this section here, usually you'd use the cherry bombs to break those ice walls, but we can just jump over those.
Platforming is fun.
You'll come with me.
Oh, and here comes the spooky level, but we're gonna skip it, so don't worry.
Freak is gonna go for cutscene skip.
That's pretty risky. If you
Oh, he's going for it.
If you mess up cutscene skip,
Oh,
essentially the cutscene skip is when you stack that cutscene right there, so it doesn't play, and then you jump in the well at the same time, so they play at the same time essentially.
what messing that up would do is when you get the paintings into the fire, there's these firewalls that go down. So the game, if you don't get the cutscene, will still keep the firewalls up, which you need them down in order to access the timepieces we need to get for this any percent route.
Hihya just finished Vanessa's Manor.
There was a cutscene skip that we didn't talk about. So in that level, he when he gets to that attic room, he jumps on top of a door that you can't see, and jumps over a cutscene trigger, which does not extend upward and only outward. So we're just able to jump over it, save some time.
You should see it again on Freak's screen when he gets there.
Right now, Hihya is just gonna make his way to the first of two time rifts in Subcon.
Freak also getting Subcon well first try.
Looks like Hihya is on good pace to get the fast cycle for pipe. Yep, he's getting it. He's in the clear.
A lot of these time rifts are pretty cycle dependent.
Right here. Oh, that's unfortunate for Freak. If Freak had kept that contract up, he could just on keyboard and mouse just walk over to the time rift while the contract is still up, and then go back to hub. He might not have switched to keyboard and mouse early enough. You have to do it before the well animation.
He's just gonna head over to Village Rift now. He's entering through mail delivery. Doesn't really matter too much with this, but with the bag skip contractual obligations, it just becomes a bad level to enter for any level.
Oh, Freak. Wait.
Is Freak going for
Freak?
toilet?
I think Freak is going for the new strat. Yeah, he is. Oh, interesting. I was not expecting this. Okay. Let me pull up the new splits so I can get better commentary for this. These are new routes that people just started testing out last night. So, okay. Might be doing a different route than the one that I just noted. So we will be doing this on the fly. Yeah, we'll find out. This is gonna be crazy. I'm hyped.
I think this is the first toilet run we've had.
Yeah, it's the first toilet attempt. The toilet new strats were just figured out 2 days ago now? It was yesterday.
Ooh, he just jumped off the bell there.
Doing bellless. So that is quite a precise jump to get off the bell. Alternatively, you can hit the bell, which solidifies the green box as like a safety net in case you don't get enough height to get the timepiece. But he's just going for the crazy strats. Alright, so on Freak's screen real quick, he's gonna do this cutscene skip I was talking about before. Just jump on the door and jump over the cutscene. It's a little difficult to get on the door, but it's pretty simple compared to most skips in this game. Over on Hihya's side, he's doing mail delivery service, which is the one and only FPS level we get in Hat in Time. Most runners will switch to keyboard and mouse, as the controller is kind of annoying to use. It inverts on the toggle sticks, so it's just a lot easier to use the keyboard and mouse to do this level. Pretty simple though. Throw the packages at the people and then grab the timepiece at the end. Or the ghosts, I should say. So they're not people too.
So it looks like he's going for the pipe rift. Freak is.
Okay, maybe he just... I guess he accidentally got caught in the snatcher thing by accident. Possibility here. Snatcher has like some traps on the map that you can accidentally get stuck in if you're not too careful. We will see. Ooh, Freak accidentally falling down in pipe. Gonna miss the first cycle here.
Hihya now on the final level, final arc of the any percent. Ooh. Things aren't going so well for Freak.
Fortunate Freak. So typically this would be the second area that you go into in a casual run, but for two reasons we do this one second. There are levels that require a hook shot. Well, one level that requires a hook shot in order to be entered, and a lot of the levels in this zone require a certain amount of pawns to be unlocked. One of the reasons why we do this last.
Let's see if Hihya draws anything for us. Nah, it doesn't look like it. I believe that's Freak's first record.
Looks like it was. Yeah, pretty far into the race with that one. Okay, no, he... oh boy, he's gonna go for Toilet of Doom. Okay,
He might be skipping Village Rift then.
yeah, it looks like he is. He might be doing his routing a little different then. Like I said, there are different routes that could be done here for this, so we will follow along as it goes. So pretty much what's gonna happen here, if I understand this new version, he's gonna press start, and he's gonna go into his graphics settings and switch from high quality to performance environmental effects, and that causes the toilet to fall underneath the map, out of bounds, dies, and then we just grab the time, which is quite hilarious.
We're just finding quick kills for everything now.
Yeah. Like I was saying before the run, if you were not there, this is a level that we only saw in the ATP all-time pieces, but due to a glitch that Doka and a few others found, we were just able to do that quick kill now. One thing to note, for players that do have lower-end computers, switching the environmental settings between, I think it was a high-quality one to the far right, and performance doesn't do much to slow down your gear, like much at all. There have been a few people with lower-end computers to test it out. So that is good news for anyone with a lower-end computer running this game. So Hihya here is doing Murder Mystery. Looks like he's gonna go for... Oh, he just barely gets instant door. So as you can see, he warps back to the start. There's this mini cutscene that for some reason still shows up even though we have skippable cutscenes on. And if you do, there's about a 3-frame window where you can do almost perfect inputs to get through the door and bypass that warp. It's pretty precise movement in order to get it. I think only one runner has gotten it in the race so far. Or not in the race, in the tournament races so far.
I believe that's Sewer.
And I think he did it 2 times.
Here, the game just gives us the conductor as evidence. It does look like... did I miss that? I skipped the village rift.
Yep. By doing, he's doing the village skip route, so the one he's doing, it pretty much just swaps out the village rift for the toilet, which is different than doing the other routing, which takes out parade, moon, and award ceremony. So we won't be seeing any of the other ATP levels. There's no certainty as to which one of these routes are faster yet, but we are still currently trying to figure that out.
Hihya's now in picture perfect.
There's another new route that was discovered within this month. Well, now it's June, but within like the last 30 days. There are new things being discovered this game almost every week.
Yeah, it's essentially doing it this way, the way Hihya's doing it. He can spawn this dog over here, which skips animation, skips like a full text box.
Yeah, you originally get this animation with DJ Grooves here who's boogieing it out in the background. We saw one before when he jumps off a building and falls down onto a endorsement icon. So this one cuts one of the two out of the route. Going to be going to Train Rush, I believe. There is a little bit of deviation, but I think he might do Train Rush. Yeah. So this level is quite a difficult one. It's it's like an obstacle course. There's lots of platforming that's involved here. And you just pretty much, oh, that's unfortunate. You pretty much just go fast the entire time.
Before the train explodes.
Yeah. Pretty easy to mess up some of these rooms. He's going smoothly. So this next part that he's just going to be in, there's two things he could do. He could drop down to this platform, which I think he's going to go for. Oh, and he gets it. And when he drops down to the platform, it saves like a second or two of time. And he just gets to do like this momentum-based jump up to the train cart instead of just going around them all.
That way is better because it gives you the time clock as well. If you go the other way, you usually just avoid the time clock. The clocks give you more points for the conductor, and more points means the conductor's at the fake finale, which is faster.
Can still get the conductor to win without that time clock.
Yeah, time clock just makes it a little bit easier.
But the drop that he does is pretty difficult to execute consistently.
Here, he just crafting an ice cap for a death warp coming up.
We used to craft this ice hat a lot later in the run, but due to a death warp similar to the one we saw in Sub Conwell with a cherry, we do this just a little earlier. Yeah.
Freak's gonna jump on top of that door, which is always scary. You can use your key there.
Yeah, if you miss that door, you can accidentally open it and have to grab another key. Losing quite a bit of time. He's just going to be going into the gallery time rift. Oh, Hihya, what is going on?
Yeah, there's not really too much to talk about here.
Yeah.
Other than this part coming up, jumping underneath the platform is pretty scary. You could fall down and have to start back at the last checkpoint.
You don't get your jumps right, you can accidentally hit the platform, fall down, or just not have enough height to wall jump up to, or wall run up to the platform. Alternatively, you could just spawn on the outer side, losing a tiny bit of time in comparison.
Next, he's just gonna enter in either the parade or Owl Express.
Yeah, he does parade before L Express. That comes down to preference in terms of pawn routing. It doesn't make a difference in terms of time. So there is newer strats for Prey that we might see that requires some death warping. See if Hihya is gonna go for that.
Yeah, it's warping like we saw back on Heating Up Mafia.
Yeah, on
Freak.
Freak screen. Let's see. Doing different pawn routing. So as
He just has to make it up to 50 pawns before we go to...
okay, it looks like he's going for it. So what he does is he sets his like whole warp point. Oh, still gonna get it. You should still get it. He sets a warp point over by the switch, and then goes into the ice block, giving invulnerability because you have these owls following you. Very annoying. If you get hit, you go flying. And he's gonna wait for this timer to go up, and he's gonna hit the switch. And he's going to take damage, and then he's just gonna warp back to the switch, and then he's gonna do it one more time for the float switches after he hits these dials.
Whenever you land on a object that's interactable, I believe, then it doesn't think you're actually on a safe object, which is where the warp comes in. It warps you to the last previous safe spot you were standing on. So it's like
taking up the
buttons
remainder of his pawns.
So the reason we want to get to 50 pawns is for cheating the race, which is going to come up in a couple levels. That's the last thing we need pawns for, though. So Hihya's good for the rest of the run.
He's just going to set up for the last button warp. PhreakTheMighty going through some platforming on Train Rush. Almost done with the level.
1 minute and 20 seconds.
Almost still there.
Better hurry.
Hihya getting ready for the warp coming up.
Oh, freak. It's unfortunate. So Hihya gets the warp. Second button, moving to the third one. Now Hihya is going to set up for a death warp, which is similar to what we saw with the cherry. He's going to get himself down to 1 health. And then he's going to post himself up on top of his electrical post. And then do another ice block.
Freak just made the ice hat for the same death warp.
So Hihya is going to wait for the cell to get close to finishing, and then he's going to take damage from the owl, and he has to make sure that he lines this up. The angle is forgiving. He's going to take damage, he's going to go flying, gonna wait for this timepiece to drop down, and he's going to fly into the timepiece. And by doing this death warp, just like before in Subcon, ooh, freak falling down.
Lets him restart the level, essentially.
Yeah. He has to restart the level and then access this time rift.
Subcon's mainly the
I don't know if
only...
you have the checkpoint. Oh, man.
Subcon's the only level where all the levels are pretty much the same. You can enter through any level, except for toilet and mail.
Alright. So right here is a kind of difficult SDJ. By doing that SCJ I spoke of before, we get to pretty much cut some other platforming and just get onto that tiny little block right there.
If you jump here at the end of the platform going up, you get a little boost.
Ooh,
Oh.
he just ever so slightly missed it.
That's only going to cost him like a few seconds. And here's another death warp.
By doing
This-
this... No, sorry. Do you want to say it?
You could say it.
Okay, by doing this death warp, we wind up skipping the roulette. Saves, like, literally a second.
Frick just got the ladybug hat.
Hihya is about to be doing... Oh, right, he does... Forgot, he does it differently. He's gonna be doing the L Express, and it looks like we have a little bit of sync here between the runners, both doing L Express. However, just to keep in mind, we are going by in-game timer, and Hihya is ahead. Even though on Freak it says he has 35 minutes in.
He's still like 2 levels behind.
Yep. This is a pretty difficult level to do fast. You have to do 2 difficult STJs. Unfortunately, Freak does not get the STJ, it's a sprint jump. The second jump that Hihya did could be done with the sprint jump. It's down to preference. Hihya does get first cycle. First cycle by getting the dive boost onto the third switch. It's a little difficult, but he got
That's
it.
the only way to get fast cycle. You missed that, you missed the fast cycle.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to miss this fast cycle, but that is one of the most common ways to miss it, other than not making the SDJs, of course. Ooh, it's unfortunate. Barely missed that other switch. Some nice colors on Hihya's screen. And now he's going to be doing a pretty straightforward level award ceremony. This is one of the levels where, as we were saying before, we want the conductor to win, just because his is a little bit faster. DJ Grooves does a little spin and has, I think, 1 more text box than the conductor does. Saves a tiny bit of time. Get this timepiece practically given to you.
Yeah, and that's the main reason we do Big Parade over... We used to do Big Parade over Toilet. We didn't have the quick kill for the Toilet before. He just now headed into cheating the race. This is the run killer for most runners and really bad for new runners.
Especially, yeah, for new runners especially.
There's 2 ways to do it. There's forwards and
Hihya.
backwards.
He's just doing forward, I believe. Oh, no, he's not. Saw him doing forward earlier. Changed his mind. Really just comes down to mostly preference. I believe...
Ooh.
I think he should still be fine. I believe forward is 1 second faster if you do it as optimally as possible. Yeah, he gets it. He's safe. He's just about to go into the final time rift next, mailroom.
Mailroom, the only thing you have to worry about are the birds that can knock you off the edge.
Okay, it looks like Freak isn't going to be going for the warp strats and parade.
Yeah, the warp strats are pretty weird to get the hang of. I don't even use them in my runs.
Yeah, they're a little finicky to get the hang of. In just terms of getting the warp. The platforming part, I'd say, is the easiest part. Is getting used to the movement and not resetting your safe zone.
The warps in Parade are easier than the warp in Heating Up.
Yes, that is correct.
Hihya's now Mustache Girl.
the only part in the game where we get to play as the antagonist.
And she doesn't. She has like some of the abilities you have, but not all of them. So it's kind of hard to get up there. Get up there fast, that is.
Hihya here is going to be making his way towards the last level, finale. Ooh, just barely misses that. Oh, that's unfortunate. The backup. Ooh, Hihya. Oh no. So in this version of the game, we get to just jump over the gate. We play on 1.0. A little thing to note. In current patch, that would require a certain tech called a TSJ in order to get over the gate. The developers patch. So we're gonna be seeing some crazy things on Hihya's screen in a little bit.
I do believe with a lot of things going well for Hihya, he's on PB pace. Or PB for what's currently there. Pretty sure he has an updated version that hasn't been approved yet.
Yeah, I think he'll probably beat this one that's on the boards, but I don't think he'll beat his PB. So what happened on his screen was there's this little hole that we can get through to get out of bounds, and we can wall jump between two textures to get on top of this arc, but has mostly solid geometry, and we can just slide off the side. We have to be very careful though, because there are two walls that we have to bypass by just moving right and then left, and then a gap that we have to slide over. If you fail these, you can fall down. If you fail the gap, like right now he's about to be, I think he's going for safe strats, okay. So safe strats, instead of just doing the left and right, which is difficult and easy to mess up, you can just get back onto the roof of the geometry. And then what he's going to do is, instead of going back to sliding, he's going to jump over this, ooh, careful. Gotta jump over this tiny gap, and then go back into slides. He can still mess up. You can randomly bonk in random places, and sometimes you can bonk and get caught, and then you warp back to a previous safe zone, which would be where he was before he did the first slide. But he gets it successfully. Next part, he's going to jump into this cutscene. Had he missed the cutscene, he would have fallen down into a soft block and would have to go back to hub and redo this whole level.
So the goal here is just to try and hit Mustache Girl as much as you can. You can stack hits here.
I think it might be 5 hits here.
During this section, you can't really do anything. But at the next section, there's a couple precise things you want to do. Like getting the Brewer Bomb while Mustache Girl's teleporting. That's a pretty hard one. Doesn't look like Hihya got it though. He's already at the... You can explain.
Okay. In that part, right after you get first phase, if you does this laser beam, you can hit her with the Brewer, or just wait for her to finish that out. In this part, there's a Mafia Ball and a little bit of brewing action. So she does this float thing where you just hit her with the Brewer, and then after that, the Mafia Ball will always come up next, and then you go to Mafia Ball and do damage on her.
Getting hit right there is faster for some reason. Coming up, we have the cherries. It's very RNG dependent right here.
Not only is it RNG, but it's very glitchy. You can have the cherry bomb explode next to her and not even do damage to her, which is very unfortunate. And in one weird case yesterday, Pulsar had his cherry floating in midair and he couldn't even access it. think we're looking at was it a 3 cherry?
Yeah, 3 cherries.
The minimum for cherries you can get is 1, but like we said before, it's crazy RNG. Ooh, is Freak gonna... Okay, Freak's definitely getting this timepiece. He's good.
That was a lot closer than Hihya's.
Yeah, a lot closer. He's just entering the second... sorry, the last... Oh, I said second. The last phase of this battle.
So here, even though the everyone's giving you hearts and you are immortal, it's still better not to get hit.
Yeah. It loses time, and we never really know what attack she's going to be doing on us. You can hit her with the brewer like he's just doing. You could also run at her and do a homing lunge at her, which is kind of funny to see sometimes because she likes to hop around the map. So you just see that kid soaring around at her, like a little bit you see there. Oh yeah, nice one.
Doesn't look like he beat his old PB, like his old one.
No, his old one was a 45-21. You just finished up with the 45-47.
Freak's got about 30 seconds to catch up.
Some crazy way to kill Mustache Girl right now. Will we see some legendary discoveries?
With that, I'm pretty sure he's just the winner.
Yeah, definitely.
Freak going with the toilet route, though, was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was definitely... I was not expecting to see any toilet strats. I kind of wish he went for the no parade one, because we would have seen a lot of newer things here for any percent, but it's still really cool to see. Done so early nonetheless. PhreakTheMighty going into the finale. I wonder if we'll see him do the full slides.
Looks like we got Hihya here now.
Hello.
Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
How do you feel about this run?
It wasn't that bad. Like, the only really bad thing was Stubcon well going into Parade instead of Old Express and randomly falling down in Gallery because I thought there was a moon.
Okay, I was wondering what happened there. I was like, is there something new that I haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like warp somewhere and I was gonna be shocked.
So Freak is about to be going up between these textures onto this arc.
Ooh.
Ooh, straight for the dive, okay. Going straight for the slides.
He's gonna...
Yep, he's going for slides. Still not sure yet if he's gonna be doing safe slides or full slides.
We'll find out very shortly.
Freak went for no village, Hihya. What are your thoughts on that?
Thanks.
Okay, so it looks like Freak is gonna be going for the full slides. Gonna move right and then move left. By moving left, you can pass through those invisible walls. Oh! He gets the bonk. He gets a pretty fortunate bonk. He warps back to the beginning. It looks like he's gonna go straight for them again.
Yeah, essentially like one of the warps we saw before in Parade. He got warped back to the beginning.
It is unfortunate, but it definitely could be a lot worse.
Yeah, he got pretty lucky that he didn't fall down completely.
Yeah. That would have had required him to go back through the hole and then get back on top and start sliding. In a case where if he would miss this gap, he would fall down into soft block and have to go back into hub. Unless he was doing the slides with 1 health, which most of the time is the case.
They could also get soft block by bonking. I have seen some people actually fall
wow.
past the lava.
About to clip in with the cutscene. Careful to jump on these timepieces, and he's in.
It's you.
After this phase, he doesn't have to worry too much about dying. But if he dies here, he had to start the level all over again.
Yeah. Good.
Alright, now it's just about how fast he can do everything.
Let's see, Freak's time was a 50-39. We are likely not going to be seeing a PB for him.
Well, I mean, this level is pretty glitchy. There is always the chance Mustache Crow could just fall through the ground and somehow kill herself.
Yeah, the dream. She could just fall underneath the map and then never come back up again.
That's happened to me like once, and
Happened
it
to
wasn't
me
even
twice.
during a recording. But there's no way to actually cause that, it just sort of happens.
Yeah. Fortunately. So, Freak here, entering the cherry phase soon. See what the cherry gods are gonna give us today. Ooh, misses the hit. Oh, that's so unfortunate. You're gonna hit her with the brewer and then do a homing attack on her. You get 2 hits on her. Like the 3 cherry. Yep.
Yeah, 3 cherry is the most likely scenario. Highest possibility of that happening.
Freak will be entering the final phase of the finale fight.
Red hooded girl, get lost!
Let's kill each other to save the world! Hey!
This game has some pretty good messages.
Yeah. About sacrificing oneself to save the greater good, hoping that Hat Kid will turn time back, save the world, and bring them back to life. Story about friendship and redemption. Oh, that is unfortunate. Getting hit by that sonic boom.
Looks like he's gonna get around 52-50, 52-47, something like that.
A little over 2 minutes on his PB. Freak. He's just jumping on top of Mustache Girl.
52-50 it looks like. So now Freak should be joining us as well.
You here any second now? Got a ping.
Here we go. So what are your thoughts, Freak?
That was pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest. That was really bad.
We were pretty surprised to see you do toilet for having
Yeah.
it discovered so soon.
I
wasn't
figured it was
tr-
pretty easy, so I
Yeah.
just went for it.
I wasn't sure what route you were gonna go for. I think you went for village route.
hmm
Is there a reason you chose that one over the other one?
Well, the other one's a lot more work to figure out in one day.
That's true. I wasn't sure if you were an ATP runner.
No, I'm not.
Okay. That's understandable. Congrats for being the first one to do it.
Yeah, that's
Very
exciting.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I messed up a lot. I missed a lot of SDJs, especially.
Yeah. Seeing the new heating up strats was pretty cool. I haven't really seen too much of it recently.
It's like one of my favorite strats. It's really cool looking, but getting that clip in the faucet is really
Yeah, that looked really difficult, and then the raccoon fell on you. That was unfortunate.
annoying. I almost died on barrel battle. That was interesting. I dropped to 1 HP.
Yeah, the barrel started hitting you.
Yeah, and then the mafia guy punched me.
Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, whatever.
Any last thoughts or words from the both of you?
Just GG to Hihya. Oh, what was
Same
Hijya's
to
time?
I think I wrote it 45-47.
It's really good. In a race, too.
Well, it could have been way better, but it's pretty good, yeah.
Pulling up.
Oh, and Freak missing bag skip twice. That wasn't so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm super
Unfortunate.
glad that I first tried that.
Just SDJs for me recently. I don't know what happened, but they've just been a mess.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. It's really unfortunate when it happened.
Oh, another thing
Soul
is,
crushing.
because I was doing toilet, I had my environmental settings on higher than I normally would have. So I was dropping some frames here and there, which
Oh,
wasn't
so
the
you-
biggest
so you
deal, but
Do drop a lot of frames from it.
not a lot, but I like noticed it.
Okay, because I was hearing from some runners that there wasn't too much of a difference, because some people with lower end computers did say they didn't have too much of a difference, but
Oh,
I
the
guess
time on the
good data to give
level
them.
was still fast, but like in other levels, because I had the environment on high going into toilet, like the grass was nicer looking and there was rain on some
Yeah.
levels, and that lagged my game a bit. But on the level itself, no, it's really fast.
Okay. Yeah, that might be good data to give some of the runners testing out this sort of stuff.
Well, that was my bad, because normally I would be starting on low and they would just go to standard, but I started on the highest, I think, by accident.
Yeah,
That was my fault.
I could see that probably messing you a little bit with the clock tower for the double dupe, because
Mhm.
I personally get a little bit of lag up there.
I get a lot on
Rendering.
if you came from outer space, because
Yeah, I
there's
can see.
rain.
Yeah.
Oh, props to getting double dupe, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I was worried about that one with a lot of mishaps and missing in runs.
Yeah. Missed it in every single one of my runs in this tournament. So, guess that wraps up this race. We have another Hat in Time race that is
I think-
already ongoing between
It's
Noak
on-
and Buff on Speed Gaming 3. In terms of the schedule on this channel, pull that up. Coming one is looks like this is it. So you'll want to watch more Hat. Speed Gaming 3 is doing the other race right now. And those are the only remaining Hat runs on the schedule so far. More will be posted soon. If you all are interested in any more info on Hat in Time and runs, there is a Discord that you can join. Link is in the speedrun.com resources section. If anyone is interested. Any last words?
If you're wanting to start runs, good luck.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps us up. Thank you for watching.
Bye.